The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation. What up, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Eric Buckner, E. Buckner, Nighthawk in the building. We are ready to talk some sports with y'all. Of course, this is Gametime Audible, the show where we talk sports with our good friends. One of which, of course, is the man with the master plan himself, that youngster right there, the sports guru, Hugh Lee. What up, Hugh?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'd be doing better if you had a better look on your face, man. It's your time of year, bruh. It's time for you to get ready to tomorrow, baby.
Things to talk about.
You. I know you ready to talk
Yeah, I'm
NFL
definitely
football.
hyped on the last 4 hours.
Man, I'm hyped, baby. I'm ready to go. I'm ready
Yeah,
for
I'm ready myself, man.
Fields and everything else that come in between. You feel me? So much so tonight,
Which
y'all,
one?
we definitely talking sports, but primarily this evening, for those of y'all who love it especially, we talking football. So the Good Rules football session is definitely gonna come into play. But before we get there, we're gonna, knock out some of the other little sports right quick, get some of them out the way. And then it's on to the Gurus football session to talk about the NFL, give y'all a preview of what we think some of these teams gonna do, how they gonna finish, and most importantly, give you our early Super Bowl picks. So that being said, Hugh, let's get into it quickly. First, we're gonna talk just a little baseball. Got some bad news today. The Mets definitely did not want to hear this news, but yeah, they had to go ahead and put Max Scherzer on that 15-day disabled list. I hate that for Max. Just when we about to get into the good playoff push, we got a little nagging injury. What's your thoughts on it, Hugh?
He's been up for a while too, man. It's like like the end of the season he was banged up before he came to the team. Again, when he came, he was dealing like he always do. Server gonna do what he do. The issue was they said that he's been basically having problems as far as fatigue, and I was like, really? And I thought about it. I said, yeah, he's getting up there in age, man, so he probably needs that little rest. And the 5 days, every time you appear within the 5 days span, I think that kind of got to him, man. Definitely the bad pair of the season, and we talked about this before. I think that they should definitely go, like we said before, when they cut some of the games. That was probably one of the better seasons that we saw. They can cut the games down to at least, like to the basketball level, at least 82. I think it'll make it much more exciting. It'll be more to play for, and it'll be a lot more steady. 162 games is highly too much, man, and it's starting to wear down people.
The thing is, at that point, you change the record book so much by doing it that way. I definitely would like to see them at least cut back to where it used to be with 154 or maybe even 140. But cutting it that far, no, I don't think that would go over well. Nor do I feel like that's going to really give us what we need. I think we just have to understand that the game is evolving, and the days of you pitching that complete game, coming back 4 days later and pitching another complete game, them days is over. It's pretty much about getting that quality 6 inning start, having your bullpen finish it up, and go from there. Having those people that's not gonna hit 350 to 400 no more, just get a solid 300 plus with a little power, and stealing bases is becoming like a dinosaur almost. I think perhaps the person that's going to lead the league in steals is probably going to have less than 50. Less than 50. when you understand that Ricky Henderson in the year that he stole 130 something, he had 50 in 2 months. 2 months. You're not gonna have nobody in baseball with over 50 steals this year. That's crazy.
That dude is still a base machine, man. And
right, and just like you said, I mean, when we look at some of the records, some of these records is not gonna be broken.
No,
ever.
See, that dude never.
Ever.
Stolen bases in 2 months, that's insane.
Yeah. But
You
no,
see that? He's right now in the league, 50 within a 2 month span, let alone his record of stolen bases.
well, Hugh, I don't know about on your end, but you sound a little fuzzy here. So I think what we have to do is take a quick technical commercial break to kind of figure out what's going on with that. And when we come back, we're done with the baseball stuff for a couple questions, and then we're gonna move on to a little WNBA talk. But rest assured, y'all, most of tonight's 90-minute show, we talking football. That's why we gotta make sure we get Hugh sound together so you can hear him. So that being said, let's take this commercial break and know that usually when we show this commercial, because not only we love David Ford, but it kind of helps out the situation. So D4, this on you, bro.
Come on now. Okay, black on. Get into it. Black on. Look at that David Ford right there. That's his guy. Black on. He don't know Tom. Look at that David Ford. That's his name. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes. Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
All right, we are back with Gametime Audible. Your boy E-Buck and Hugh the Sports Guru. Sound check, Hugh, what you got?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me better?
Slightly.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys can hear us okay. If you can't, and you check in, please let us know in the comments. But I can hear you. Just, it ain't the quality that we used to it being, but we can work through this. No problem. So much going. So, okay, hold on. We do have a comment.
Good,
What
Pride?
up, though, Pride? Pride in the building. Let us know if you hear us okay, Pride. Having a couple sound difficulties, but we going through it. Okay, we just leave with a few more questions, Hugh, in regards to where we are in the regular season. We got two big races that we got going. First of all, it's the race to 61 for one Aaron Judge. What number are we on right now with Mr. Judge?
55. He just hit that today, man. It seemed like he hit a home run every day, and they were down 3-0, and he hit that home run, and they took off from there, man. And they ended up catching back up and pulling that game off in the 12th inning against Minnesota, which Minnesota's not a shabby team. So to pull two off right now, that sounds pretty good.
Okay, I can hear, but the sound is crappy. Is it crappy on both ends? Is one not as good as the other? Let us know, Brad. But in terms of Mr. Judge, he needs what, 7 to break Roger Maris' record of 62. The question is, does he get there, Hugh?
Yeah, I think he'll definitely get here because right now the way he's hitting and at the pace he's been hitting, man, because it's like he's hitting one every game just about. And we're still in early September, and it's getting closer to mid-September. So yeah, I definitely feel like it won't be as hard right now because he's on 55, rather than him being at something like 42 or 43 and likely to be kind of out of reach. I definitely think it's within reach right now for him, and I believe that not only will he get that, but I think he'll pass 62.
Wow, so you think he may get somewhere close to 65, right?
About like 55.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, so
Definitely see
that being said, the other big chase right now is with, of course, the great Albert Pujols. He is looking to try to get to 700. Where is he right now, Hugh?
he's still at 695.
So we are 5
With
away
that,
from Albert. Same question. Does he get to 700?
that was a little easier to me versus getting the just record. Just to slip up, he could give him a slump. That's possible. After too, but with 5 1 to go, I don't think it's going to be as, impossible to read. It'll be a little harder to judge to me, but I think Albert is a little bit closer. I just feel like they're at pace to beat these records, and it'll be pretty cool to see them break both of those records.
Okay. Again, Hugh, the sound is getting worse on that end for sure. Like I said, I hear me. I don't know if my sound is bad on your end. Do you hear me okay?
I think he's pretty good.
Okay, what we're gonna do is I'm going to have you come out, come back in. Hopefully that fix it, and I'll kind of hold it down till you get back. So yeah, let's try that.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all, we're kind of working things on the fly here. Sometimes we have our technical difficulties, so please be patient while we try to get that together for y'all. Basically, like I said, the baseball races pretty much are set at this point. So for the next week or two, we probably not gonna get too deep into baseball. We'll mention some of the major developments that might happen, but for the most part, we pretty much gonna ride it out till we get to the playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, when we get Hugh back in the room, we are going to discuss Pride's favorite subject, WNBA, as we are deep into the semifinals now. In fact, one of these semifinals ended last night, which also marked the ending of the great career of one Sue Bird. So I definitely want to talk to Hugh about that right quick. Hopefully we get him back in the room momentarily and his sound is better. Sometimes when you're dealing with the yard, it's simply that the yard kind of picks up things differently from entry and exit and what have you. So hopefully that is what's going to resolve the issue. If not, then we will have to attempt other such scenarios. But yeah, definitely always glad to talk sports with you guys. Besides football, I've been catching the rest of the U.S. Open. There's a young man that is from the United States who has made it to the semifinals. Congratulations to him as he found his way past the great Rafael Nadal in order to get to this point. It's actually the first time all year that Rafael Nadal has lost a match in a Grand Slam final, so that was even more impressive considering that. Um, you know, in the end, I'm hopeful that he is able to pull it off and get to the final. I think it's been several years now since an American's actually won the U.S. Open on the men's side. As we got Hugh back now, let's see what we got. Hugh, talk
Yeah,
to
what's
me.
up? Can you hear me better?
Yes, much better.
Okay.
All right. Sometimes it's just the yard. You know how that go.
It was kind of funky because of the fact is you can see the camera, it looked way much better. That was the issue I was having. Like, what's up with my camera? It's not looking too well. Now, man, it looked like it normally does.
Right. Yeah, it's all playing a lot better. Hopefully, Pride, you can hear us a little better also if you are still around. Yeah, basically want to get into the whole WNBA situation now. As you know, we were in the semifinals. You had the Seattle Storm taking on the Las Vegas Aces. Hugh, you can tell them what happened.
Man, that was actually a really good one, man. The Las Vegas Aces game was one of the better ones to me because the first game was a blowout. We'll get into that one as well, but man, it was back and forth. At first, I was thinking, man, they were going to force it to be a game 5, but I just feel like, man, damn, Chelsea Gray, man, she a warrior, man. We was talking about how good she is, and they play a hell of a game, man. But it just really surprised me too that I feel like if somebody else gave Stewie a little bit more help, then it would have helped them out a lot more. Just somebody, man, because I was saying that before. Yeah,
Jewel Lloyd is the basically third person of note on that squad, and in this series, she did not play quite up to what her standard is. And I think that definitely cost them. Keep in mind, you had to have all guns ablazing if you wanted to beat the Aces with all those weapons they have on offense. So, like I said before, I felt like whoever won this particular series was not only going to go to the WNBA Finals, but win the WNBA Finals. And as you know, Hugh, you can attest to this. Since day one of the season, I predicted the Las Vegas Aces was definitely going to the WNBA Finals. And when the playoffs started, I predicted that they would win the WNBA Finals. So I'm right on track with that.
Plum been stepping up, and other people like the role players been stepping up, man. But Asia Wilson, seeing her play and to see Chelsea Gray and how they've been playing, man, it's amazing. I could see she was on fire yesterday. I was looking at that game and I said, man, they just wanted it more. It seemed like, man.
Right. Yeah, you got Kelsey Plum and you got Jackie Young. It's a lot of great players on that particular squad. And like I said, whether it's the Sun or the Sky that ends up playing them in the finals, I really don't think they're gonna have enough to pull it off.
No, it's too much firepower over there with those girls. And Las Vegas was fun to see because they were shooting, man. And even the announcers was getting excited. And most times you don't supposed to be like, fan voting or bandwagon at a team, but you could hear it in announcer's voice. He was so excited. Chelsea Gray, man, she shot that 3, man. She came back and shot a 2-pointer, man. It was like whatever baskets they needed in the clutch, she was there. She was making, man. And they basically pulled out just a little bit more. Sometimes in the playoffs, that's what you got to do. You just got to have that little bit extra, man. And they did. And much respect to Sue Bird and those ladies, man. The Storm, they did what they had to do. It was just like you said, it was too much firepower over there with the Aces. You told me how potent that team was, and then me starting to see them during the year, and especially in the playoffs, that's a potent team over there, man.
Right.
And Becky, man,
Bird gave what she had, but understand, this woman has played 21 years in the WNBA. Clearly the longest tenured person ever, keeping in mind that the WNBA is only 26 years old. But then also keep in mind all the basketball she's played in her life, between all the years of playing at UConn and going to the finals and winning national championships, to all the FIBA championships, to all the 5 gold medals she's won, the 4 WNBA championships, 3 MVPs. I mean, you name it, she's done it. She's had the career of careers. So definitely want to give her flowers. She will finish as at top 20 in terms of scoring in WNBA history, the all-time leader in assists in WNBA history, the all-time leader in games in WNBA history. These are numbers that basically, if she was on the NBA part of it, you'd be talking first ballot Hall of Famer. So not only should she end up in the WNBA Hall of Fame, obviously, but she'll probably end up in the National Basketball Association Hall of Fame as well, to go alongside of some of her teammates, one of which is Swin Cash, who's slated to go into the Hall of Fame this weekend. I have forgot that the NBA Hall of Fame is actually this weekend. Were you aware of that, Hugh?
It's quite interesting to see too, because just the groundwork that she put in, and like you said, that's a long tenure, man. It's 26 years old, and she's been in there for like 21 years. She's been there most of her life after college, and she's won so many accolades and the things she's done and all her accomplishments. You have to give her flowers, man. Because when they said how old she was, I was like, man, who else is her age in the WNBA? And she was still going
she
out.
is one of the most decorated basketball players in terms of women of all time. We talking even down to high school where she won championships, So very interesting to see what she does next in her career. She has a lot of options. I'm sure TV is one of them. She owns a production company with several other female athletes, so they'll be putting out some things for Netflix and other production places. Her life partner is one of soccer's greatest players. Perhaps you'll follow her around for a little while, Miss Rapido. But whatever it is, I wish her the best of luck, and know that you will be missed, and you had an awesome career, and congrats to you. That being said,
She said
that's the one retirement.
She helped set.
You said what now, Hugh?
She helped set a lot of groundwork for the WNBA too, man. So it's going to be like, I don't think a lot of people appreciate it as much as we do for the fact that how it has grown, man. Like last year, I've seen the playoffs and I've seen how excited it was, and that really had me to the point where I said I need to start watching more of these games and respecting their gameplay. To looking at them this year and saying, damn, the final, like the playoffs is actually slightly better this year. I might be wrong, but I doubt it. It was a little bit more.
I think, like I said, as we start to look at more women's leagues, a lot of little league women's leagues and AAU teams and whatnot, I think the quality of play will just continue to grow as the women's sport of basketball is growing more. You're starting to have more travel teams. You're starting to have a lot more people get a lot of more basketball in by the time they get to college. I think it's only a matter of time before we get to the point, much like with the NBA, where they'll start to allow the women to leave school early to come to the WNBA, which will make it even that much more interesting. But yeah, definitely, like I said, we're fans. Hopefully you'll give it a try. Of course, do know that when the finals come on sometime next week, those finals are going to be aired on ABC. So if you don't have your cable subscriber set up, you'll have your opportunity to watch the games then.
I'm looking forward to seeing that too, man. And it's cool too, because like you said, man, there's so many different ways that you can watch these now. You can go get the WNBA app.
And I'm a big fan of that one.
Well.
Absolutely. But yep, okay, that's pretty much it for our other talk for the week. Now that we got the sound and stuff together, I need to put a smile on that dude's face right there, because in the outside world, it's been a little struggle for the two of us. But we are definitely gonna have some fun this next hour or so. So we talking the sports guru's favorite subject, that be the football. So
yes, sir.
One quick commercial break. Just one commercial. And when we come back, we're gonna put that man in the front chair, and it's time for a very special edition of the football guru session, where we about to talk NFL football.
Indeed.
Do it, Hugh. All right, but first, I know just a commercial to play. This one right on. Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game Sports Blog with the sports guru, Hugh D. Lee. He'll get you together. Check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it.
And shouts out to everybody who's been following the page. Man, I don't know if you know this, man. I got another follower just the other day, man. You would be surprised where they from, man. I got a dude from Japan following the page. I'm starting to go worldwide, baby.
As I tell y'all all the time,
man, who put that Let's Go speak?
We are international here on the page. We got Mr. Morgan checking in, talking about Let's Go Pittsburgh. big Steeler fan. Apparently, he
And that's
is.
what I was.
Yeah, we will definitely talk about your Steelers, Zach, and every other team in the league. We'll give you a little preview of what we think about them. But in the end, it's all up to how this man wants to set it up. So we're gonna put him right there in the front chair. And always, when we do the football session with the guru, the floor is his. What we talking, Hugh?
Man, I just want to talk about some of the games, man, that's coming up. It's going to be a lot of exciting games, man. But hey, man, you might think I'm tripping, man, or I'm a bandwagoner, man. But I had to change of heart, man. When I was talking about the kickoff game, I was saying, or actually, no. I actually think I did pick the Bills on Sunday, didn't I? I think I had the Bills on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. As did I.
Okay. I'm definitely sticking with the Bills. I just I feel like people look at it, and I didn't know your boy Von Miller was in the league that damn long myself at first. So that age is definitely gonna catch up with him a little bit. But I still think that he gonna have that quick burst. But I feel like, man, it's just something about Josh Allen, man. I just feel like they got so much to prove. They got so much, and they did so much as far as weapons, the people they put on the team, and the surroundings around him. They did that first and foremost to win that AFC East that was ruled by Tom Brady for so long, and now they're the standard over there in the AFC East. But yeah, I definitely feel like no disrespect to Aaron Donald, no disrespect for none of the other guys over there, because they did get some nice additions when they got Allen Robinson, man. You know, big ups to him. He's from Detroit. And it's a lot still over there, man. They went all in financially, and they still got a powerhouse team. When that happened, I thought at first they were going to get rid of your boy Odell Beckham Jr., but they said they still got a locker for him, man. So yeah, man, it's like they're trying to repeat, man. You know, the last time it was a back-to-back champion was New England in 2003, 2004. Do I think that's going to happen again? Not really, but we'll have to see. Go
All right.
Lions. Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
We got
Let's
Coach
hope.
B checking in, talking about them Lions. What's up, Coach? What's happening? Prize like still here. All right, all right. Okay, well, going to that game in specific, my concern is that, as we know, Matthew Stafford did not really play during this preseason. It said that he has this nagging injury with his elbow that's probably going to have to be managed from game to game this season. For those of us in Detroit that know him well, we know that he's had several nagging injuries over the year and has played with them and played quite well. He didn't always have the best things to play with, mind you, but that is not the case over there with the Rams. So that being said, I still feel like the Bills will have just enough to pull it off tomorrow. Josh Allen definitely one of my 2 or 3 MVP candidates this season. Like I said, he was a couple throws away from making it to that damn Super Bowl, and would not be surprised if he gets a little bit closer this year. His team is set up for him to succeed. They have one of the better defenses in the league. He has his go-to guy Diggs to throw to. Definitely one of the top 5 receivers in the league. They have a decent running game, and they are set and built for bad weather situations that will come up later on in the season. So I definitely like how they are set up. That being said, I think they will have just a little bit more than the Rams tomorrow. So I'm definitely picking them in the opener to win. I say they win by field goal.
And that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I don't want people to feel like or get it twisted. You know, I don't want Pastor Tillman coming on here and, you know, beating us down or, you know, going off on us or anything. But I definitely feel like you said, I think it's going to go down to the wire. And I think this time that Josh Allen, he basically got a lot to prove, because you already know, man, that game could have went on to this day as we speak, because it was so good as far as whoever had that last possession in that game when they played in the championship round, I think was going to win. And it just so happened that Kansas City got the ball last, because if it was Buffalo, I think they would have won. So, yeah, man, I think he's a little better now as far as his experience. He got the tools around him. The running back play definitely stepped up in the playoffs, and I think they're going to excel this year. I just really think they're doing a lot of good over there, man. And A lot of people got to give Doug McDermott his props, man. That guy went over there. He went through hell at the beginning, but then as things changed, they started to, gain momentum, and now they're the cream of the crop over there in the AFC East, and I don't see nobody slowing them down, man. This year, I would be surprised, and as a Patriots fan, is they actually get a game out of Buffalo. I don't see it because they've been having their issues over there too. Like, who the hell gonna be their offensive coordinator?
Okay, of course, at some point we had to bring up them Patriots. Bottom line is, I think this begins the decline of the Patriots. We can relate to that here in Detroit. For many, many years, our Red Wings dominated the NHL. You knew they was going to the playoffs. You knew they was going to at least get second, third round, be in contention, and then one day they wasn't. I think this is starting to be that one day that we talk about over there in New England. We all know that Coach Belichick is definitely the GOAT of coaches, but he is getting up there in years. His way of seeing football maybe starting to pass him by a little bit.
It is, man.
It's becoming very much an offensive league, and as a strong defensive coach, he still finds ways to beat teams by taking away their best asset. But you got to realize a lot of teams he's going to play now, they have dual threat quarterbacks and other ways to get things done. And it becomes a lot harder to stop teams than it did maybe 10, 20 years ago.
Funny that you say that, too, because you got two guys that they will face this year twice that are dual quarterbacks. I hate the fact that Josh Allen do it more than he should because he's going to eventually get hurt in his career, and that's going to slow him from thinking run first. And Tua Tagovailoa, a lot of people don't give him his props, man, but I really think that they're going to be okay this year because last year they had an okay team on offense. Jalen Waddle had a really big year. No disrespect to Devontae Parker, but I still feel like with them getting the cheetah over there, Tyreek Hill, it's going to be like pick your poison because you got Waddle now who's a speedster, and now you have him. And plus, you got a pretty sound, run game, and the defense always been pretty decent. So yeah, it's starting to get to the point, like you said, they're going to be on the bottom of that totem pole over there. They probably won't be as bad as the Jets, but they'll be at the end.
Are you serious? Come on, man. The Jets is dumpster fire trash at best. We already got your good boy Flacco starting game 1, and they say that Wilson is probably out to at least game 4. Come on, man. They already set up to epic fail.
Yeah, pretty much. In that case, too, when it comes to the Patriots and Dolphins, I feel like even with Brady over there, the GOAT, they had issues, especially when it goes to South Beach. I actually have Miami winning that game by like 6.5, or you could say 7 points.
Okay, well, basically, I've already broke down each division and what I think they'll do. If you don't mind, I think I'll go there since we pretty much did that just now anyway. Definitely, as far as the AFC East goes, Buffalo is winning that division. Have no doubt about it. Will probably finish with one of the best records in football. I say they go at least 13-4. Miami, I think, will be as advertised. They'll be a little bit better, but not quite there. They might squeeze in the playoffs, but I kind of doubt it based on what else is in the AFC. So I will give them 9-8. The Patriots, I think they take a step down. I'm thinking somewhere around 7-9, maybe possibly 8-8, or 8-9, I should say. 17, I forget. We got 17 games now. And then, of course, the Jets, I say they lucky to win more than 3. They will have one of the 3 worst records in football, no doubt about it.
They will get better over the years, but it's like I don't see no time soon.
Nope, not at all.
Who do you feel is going to be like the best team when it comes to the AFC West? I know you definitely.
I don't really want to go there yet because when we talk AFC and NFC West, we got to put a little work in. So I think I'll just go down the list and then you tell me what you think. Okay. AFC North now. I feel like that division gonna be a tough one, but not as tough as it was last year. Not as tough as the AFC West. That being said, I say the Bengals win that division yet again, but maybe not quite as good. I get them a strong 12-5 in terms of that division. The Ravens, I think, will be right behind them. I see them winning about 10, so I get them 10-7. Pittsburgh, I'm not quite sure what to make of at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not really sold on Trubisky. I'm not quite sure if Pickett is ready yet. And the fact that they're saying that he is third on the depth chart right now, that, yeah, they still have Mr. Rudolph on that squad, and he is the backup, or at least listed as the backup for this week in case something happens to Trubisky. The only reason why I got to give them a slight edge and say 9-8 is because they do have one of the better coaches in the league that definitely does not get enough credit in coaching.
Got to give credit to Mike Tomlin, man, and what he do, man. That guy, his groundwork is incredible. The one year when I thought he should have been a coach of the year is when he really had no weapons. People were getting hurt. They were out for the season, and they still went 500. Yeah, man, a lot of credit to that man. I don't think he had a season where he was under 500. So, yeah, that definitely showed you.
When you look at all the other teams in the league, and then you look at the Steelers, in the last 50 years, they've had this many coaches. This many.
Incredible.
That's unheard of. We got teams here with the Lions. They didn't probably have 5 times as many coaches in that time.
Absolutely. So many, I forgot some of the coaches that we had.
Right. They are definitely the most consistent organization in football when you talk Pittsburgh Steelers. So just based on that alone, I say they go a strong 9-8.
I had to squeeze something in too. I'm glad that we're talking about them right now with AFC South. North. Take that back. Sorry, but yeah, man. Lamar Jackson was saying, and he doesn't really want to really get in depth as far as the contract talking negotiations after Friday. He's saying Friday.
Right. He's been consistent with that. He said once the season starts, he's done talking. At this point, I say they done talking. Friday is 2 days from now. I do not see them signing a contract by Friday. I see at this point Lamar Jackson saying, okay, here's all my chips to the front. I'm all in on me. Bottom line, if they go to the playoffs, they win a couple playoff games, get the AFC Championship game. If he somehow wins the MVP or something like that, here comes the money. If he plays and somehow he managed to get hurt again,
That's the worst part too, when you're on your contract year and you don't get that money, man, because we've seen players who bet on themselves and then get hurt, man, and never been heard from again. Now, I could say too, Earl Thomas, a lot of that came on himself because when he left, he ended up going to the Ravens. He was in a good situation, and he was just to the point where he was a hothead and couldn't get along with his team, and that's when his tenure in the NFL was over with. But when you get guys who's on that contract year, man, and they get hurt, it's like they throw them to the wolves. And I think that the teams like the Seattles and the teams that they came from, they look at it like if you could survive this at will, that we may or may not still pay you. You know, we just gonna let you ride.
I'm glad you mentioned Seattle on that because I think that would be a prime candidate to pick up that young man if Baltimore cannot give him what he wants after the season. So at this point, Seattle is in a position where they're going to need a quarterback, and they definitely would want one with a long-term future. And that basically is Lamar Jackson, who at that point will be 27. You solidify him so you don't have to worry about dealing with the draft and hopefully getting one of these rookies to step up, and then you go from there. Because clearly you'll have a lot of salary cap space.
Absolutely.
You ain't got nobody you really paying over there in the Seahawk world right now. But, of course, that leaves us with Cleveland. Bottom line, I think the turmoil that surrounds Mr. Watson is going to permeate throughout the season in Cleveland. And even when he comes back, I say he gives them a spark, but it'll probably be too little too late. I see them maybe winning 7. So just enough to be better than the worst teams in the league, but not enough to do anything in that North.
Because I do like Jacoby Brissett, but not as a starting quarterback. He did not so bad when he started. That guy had went through a lot of adversity. That's why I feel like when somebody had the audacity or the gall to say, "Well, yeah, man, you're in a tough spot right now. What type of pressure you feeling?" He's like, "Man, Andrew Luck retired on us, man, and we had no idea what was going to happen in that press conference." So yeah, I'm used to that, and I can handle that type of pressure. And he okay enough, like I said, to get a couple of good wins. Great backup, but do I think he's a good starter? No, absolutely not. But he will have enough in him that he can win some games, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them at like a 7, 9 or 7-10, something in that nature. Probably 6 games or more, but I'm definitely interested too to see what happened and when Baker Mayfield come back and reunite and then had that, reunion with his team week 1. So yeah,
Right,
that's
and
gonna
as I said, I still feel like that will be the game of the week this week because I expect a lot of sparks, particularly if it becomes a close game, and a lot of this goes on between Baker and Miles Garrett and a couple of other people that took exception to what he perceived was said. Although, of course, Baker has walked that back now. Said I didn't say that. As I
but
said last week, he absolutely said it. We know he did.
did
So
you hear because I was looking at NFL Network, he have T-shirts out now, man, where it has like the dog collar from Cleveland and the chain, and it's saying, Baker Mayfield finally unleashed, and he's basically saying that
okay.
held him back over there in Cleveland. And now, Matt Rule letting him sling it around and let him do his thing and let him be more.
Again, I need Baker to remember this ain't Ohio State, buddy. You ain't about to go plant the flag in the middle of the field. Cleveland ain't buying that like that, okay?
And
And
Cleveland got
understand,
to
the fans of Cleveland, they ain't too happy with you. They
no.
felt it was a sellout. Despite the fact they basically said you're not worthy of the job. So that being said, it definitely would be a better game if Watson was playing. That would have really made it interesting. But all that being said, I'm looking forward to that game. We're gonna move on to AFC South, by far the weakest division in all of football this year. I think you would agree. Pretty much it's Tennessee and everybody else, okay? Let's be honest. And where does Tennessee go? It's as far as they get with Henry. If Henry is still King Henry as we know him, his presence and his availability and his ability to truck people will win them 5 games in and of itself. Tannehill, that might get you a couple extra wins. But of course, I think it's gonna get real interesting if Tannehill gets hurt at any point this year and Malik Willis is put in as his backup. I'm very curious to see what that young man does. I'm really hoping if that's going to happen, that happens later than sooner because he's not ready week 1. I think we all can say that Tannehill definitely should be the starter now. But let him get 8, 9 weeks of game film and watching games and learning the ways of the NFL. And then he comes in, it could get real interesting.
Because he already got speed from it being in those preseason games. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. I wasn't even thinking about the Tannehill getting injured factor because that kid is amazing, man. And I don't think that people gave him his credit. But at the same time, this was a kind of a weak quarterback draft, class. I think that, like I said, he has a year at least to sit under Tannehill. But if Tannehill get hurt and he can show me or prove me out to be wrong, yeah, it might be problems for him because if you draft a quarterback that high too, it's already looking like that quarterback gonna breathe down your throat and it's time for you to make your exit.
Right. Because the kid's looking like somebody not quite as fast as Lamar Jackson, but stronger arm as Josh Allen. And that escapability, it could get real interesting in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm giving Indy a little credit. They too have a quality running game and good defense. So I can see them winning maybe 7 to 8 games. I don't think they end up with a winning record.
How you feel about Matt Ryan being over there too? Do you think that he'll be able just off?
That's a good look for them. I still think Matty Ice got a little bit left in the tank. That's why I say they win that many games. But his days of getting people to the playoffs, I think those days are over. So that's why I don't think they get past that. I mean, keep in mind, I know it was preseason and he didn't really play, but the Lions kept up with the Colts. That should tell you everything you need to know about the Colts. Jacksonville most definitely will be improved and will benefit from the fact that they get to play Houston 2 times. We got a year under the belt of Mr. Trevor Lawrence. He definitely will have a better coordinator and a better coach this year. Complete disrespect to Myers.
You forgot about that X factor.
Not saying no disrespect, no extra disrespect to Mr. Myers for that. He made out good in the end. We don't make me whip them out when we talk about what all that was about, but the good old race cards. But nonetheless, Jacksonville, I say they win maybe even 6 games this year. I can see that. They will not finish with the worst record in football as they did last year, that's for sure. The team that probably will, though, is this team that's up under them Houston Texans. It's going to be a long season in Houston. A long season. But keep in mind, I think they do have their version of the Super Bowl this year. And that's going to be when Cleveland comes to town, and it's the first game for Mr. Watts. That's going to be an interesting game. That might be the most interesting game all year, truthfully, Hugh.
Oh, him making it back to Houston. Is he going back to Houston or is
he's starting his first game in Houston.
Okay.
All right, we got Ro checking in. What's going on, Ro? What's happening?
Oh, how you doing?
We're talking football. You know what it is. So anyway, we can move on because now we get to the AFC West.
Oh, I was waiting for that.
As we've said before, Hugh, I think this will be this year's toughest division in all of football. You're really looking at 4 teams that could realistically win the division. 4 teams that could realistically be playoff teams. It would be crazy if basically one team wins the division and all the other teams end up as the wild card. But it could happen. It's that type of talent between the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Broncos. I made a choice. I'm going with the Chargers to win that division, but I wouldn't be mad if I end up not being right. I'm really struggling with what the records would be. I want to give the Chargers 12-5, and KC slightly under that at 11-6. I'm going with them because I say KC definitely takes a little step back because they don't have the Chiefs. They still got several weapons on that team. Patrick Mahomes, I think, will show people that he is the real deal, even without the Chiefs. But because they're playing in the toughest division in football, and they're going to end up losing some of them games. That's why I say they finish a little bit under there, but could still possibly make the playoffs. The Raiders, I put them in front of Denver, but again, I'm not comfortable with that either. I could see both of those teams winning 10 games. Because, like I said, whenever they play each other, there's going to be a lot of pick'em games this year. They just that close in terms of offense and defense. You know, a lot of moves got made last offseason, and a lot of them ended up coming to the AFC West, where they should have some of the better defenses in all of football to go with some of that high-powered offense. So, again, I got it. Chargers, KC, Raiders, and Denver, but I think it could go anyway in almost any order. I can see the Broncos winning that division. I can see the Raiders doing it. Well, what do you think, Hugh?
Man, that's going to be so competitive, man. And like you said, the defense is just, you already had like a Max Crosby over in Vegas. Now you get a Chandler Jones. You already had Bradley Chubb. That's why they let your boy Von Miller go, because he was getting up in age. Now you get Randy Gregory. You already have some good people over in Kansas City with Frank Clark, and now you get the rookie. You know, I forgot his last name. I'm not trying to pronounce it. Look for
yeah, no, it's a Greek name, but I love his nickname, Hugh. They call him Furious George.
because that dude was a beast with Purdue, and people slap on him, man. And
Furious George is definitely one of the better football nicknames to come along in quite some time.
and Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, man, that's gonna be a lot of head-on collisions, and they're gonna beat the hell out of each other, man. I could see any of those teams being on the top of that division, but like you said, I wouldn't be surprised with Justin Herbert and what they did over there that they can actually take that #1 spot and go like a 12-5, and like you said, Kansas City going 11-6, and then you could do a flip flop with Las Vegas. You can have like them going 9-8, and then having a team going set like Denver going 7-10, because you never know.
Right.
But
And like I said, I'm hard pressed to see any of these teams ending up with a losing record. The only reason why it is because they're gonna beat up on each other. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if all four of them end up with a winning record, to be honest. And like there's a lot of MVP candidates in that division alone. You got Mahomes, you got Herbert, you got
Russell
Devontae
Wilson,
Adams,
Derek Carr.
Right. You got Nick Bosa even, probably MVP candidate. So and of course, don't forget about Russell and Denver. Don't sleep on them. I'm telling you, they are definitely my ghost pick for possibility of making it all the way.
Because they have
more talent there in Denver than we realize.
Even before West went over there, they had a lot of talent on defense. They have a high-powered offense, because at first I was like, who do they have on offense, really, like the receivers for him to throw it to? And I said Cortland Sutton, and then one of my boys laughed like, you, man, you forgot one main piece of the puzzle. I said, oh, damn, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, you're right. So it's like some of the guys, when you don't pay no attention to them, man, some of these teams were stacked before he even went over there, and they just looked at the possibility. The Randy Gregory just so happened to land in their lap, because I think the Dallas Cowboys had some funny writing in their whole contract, and that's when he seen
that whole situation was so mad.
He ended up going to Denver, and then plus with Denver, he could get away with smoking his reefer, no pun intended. But.
Yeah, Ro, if your two options are the Giants and the Jets, my sister's gonna be a very, very long year for you. Very long. Speaking of the Giants, we might as well go on and move on to the next division, Hugh. Good old NFC East. Now, in the end, we know that's a two-team race. It's Dallas, it's Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Pick them at this point. I gave Dallas the slight edge. Not that I'm drinking the dark blue Kool-Aid, but I think they got a little bit more in terms of overall firepower offensively and defensively than the Philadelphia Eagles. But again, would not be surprised if Philly beats them out. I basically am picking Dallas to go like 11-6. Philly to finish somewhere between 10-7, 9-8. Washington, I don't know what to make of Washington.
I'm saying 6-11 for them.
I kind of went there too, and the Giants.
Did you hear about Bradley?
Heard about who?
You heard about Nick Young injury too, right?
Yeah,
Nick Young injury.
Like I said, I'm definitely not sold with the quarterback situation over there with the Commanders. And the Giants, again, I think they're right there with the Jets. 3 wins, maybe 4. This is Daniel Jones' swan song. We know this. They definitely will be in the mix for picking one of those quarterbacks when the time comes, draft time next
Pretty good quarterback draft too.
Yeah, it's shaping up actually to be quite a few good quarterbacks in that draft if you base it on week 1. But that being said, we can move on to our division now, the Central. No, I'm not even trying to be anything like a homer. I'm not about to sit here because I love my city, Detroit, and say, yeah, the Lions doing it. That's a lie. That's a lie. For those who y'all believe, I'm sorry. Sorry, coach. It ain't happening. Will they be better than last year? Absolutely. No doubt in my
I'm
mind
saying
about
it's the sky for the Lions. 6 games is the sky.
they better than the Bears. They'll be better than the Bears. But the rest of the division, no, it's basically up to Minnesota and Green Bay. And of course, I'm giving Green Bay the edge because they have Aaron Rodgers.
You can't
And
trust Kirk.
right, bottom line, you got to figure Aaron Rodgers will find a way to win them at least 11 or 12 games and get them to the playoffs. I have
I just
5 teams I like this, bro. It is that type of year, bro. I can understand that. So yeah, I'm going Green Bay, 12-5, Minnesota, 9-8, maybe 10-7, maybe. I get a Lions, strong 6-11. They might pull out another one, make it 7. And the Bears, I say they win maybe 4. What about you, Hugh?
The Bears, I say probably 4 or 5 because just off the strength that they have a really bad offensive line.
Yes.
The defense is going to be okay, not as great as it has been in the past, and it's going to be growing pains for Justin Fields. So I don't think they're
going
going
on their receivers either. So put all that together, that's what I get.
to. The sky is the limit for the Lions. I'm gonna say 7. They possibly can reach 8. I highly doubt it.
Wow. That's
But because I feel like 6 is really their window in their sky. When I look at Minnesota, I say they'd probably be like 10, 10
right, like I
wins.
said, I thought about it first. I was really thinking 8-9, but it's something about Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. They find a way to win games that normally ain't got no business winning. So I think that streak continues.
Sometimes he flat out ball, man. And I think what helps him too is his security blanket saying Jefferson, and they have Adam Thielen. So that's gonna probably help him out. Green
Yeah,
Bay
who you
gonna make.
got, Hugh?
I'm rooting for them because my nephew played for them. Oh, that's what's up. Who's
That's
your
awesome.
nephew?
Yeah, let us know who it is, bro. That's what's up.
Look out for him.
Absolutely. But then of course we got the NFC South. Now you already know, just like I already know who your choice is in the South. Hard to pick against the GOAT and the Buccaneers at this point, even though there's a lot of things being said in the midst of what's going on. One of the latest stories is apparently there may be a possible situation between Tom Brady and Giselle where they're not happy. And the fact is, Giselle was pissed with the fact that he decided to play one more year. And they've been kind of not getting along as well because of that. That is one of the rumors out there. That's part of why the whole 11-day thing came into play. One of the craziest rumors about that, did you hear about this, Hugh? That he actually took the 11 days off to get plastic surgery?
And I heard so much crazy stuff about like him taking that time off. I heard that he's supposed to have been one of those people that was on what's that crazy show? The Masked Singer. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if that's what it was, honestly. Remember, he does have that deal with Fox Sports. So whenever he retires, I can see them working out that type of deal. But
I'll be looking your people's role. You see that number 88 Winfrey.
All right, we'll have to remember that there. Okay, but that being said, I think they pretty much win their division by default. You got New Orleans, who will still have a decent defense, but we still don't know what we're gonna get out of famous Jameis in the end. They could go anywhere from 7-10 to 10-7. Because somehow, some way, they still gonna manage to play the Bucks decent when they do play. It's one of those things, much like with the whole New England Miami thing. When it comes to Tampa Bay playing New Orleans, they just don't seem to do it.
And it depends on too if your boy Jameis Winston get besides himself because he got hurt earlier in the year and we didn't see that. But you start to see with some of the games they lost that he started, shooting himself in the foot by making bad mental mistakes.
Literally. And then he becomes his version of Mr. Interceptor Verdi. You remember Testaverde from back in the day. But
Absolutely.
that being said, Carolina Panthers, they should be slightly better than last year, but I'm hard pressed to see them win more than 7.
7-9 for me.
7-10 it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the 17 games too. You don't forget.
Yeah.
And then of course Atlanta. I want to say they win 4.
I was
Not
gonna say that too, like
less than 4.
4, maybe 5.
And I think if it's 5, it's because Mariota helped them win those games. Keep in mind, I do think they have a decent choice at quarterback. Mariota is going to surprise a few people this year, I think. But I just don't see them doing much else, especially without Calvin Ridley due to his whole situation. Hope that bet was working, homie.
Situation with him, man.
But yep, and then the running game, and it's a lot of holes in that Atlanta Falcons team.
Because they were saying my man's Patterson is going to be one of their main running backs again. They used him as like a gadget player, and I don't really think that's going to work as much. He's a big physical dude, but how much did he have in him to be able to carry that team and to be able to win more games? You know, he's not a Debo, type player, Debo Samuel. So, yeah, I easily see them winning 5, maybe 4 games.
Right. Which, of course, leads us, since you mentioned Debo, to the second toughest division in football this year, Nfc West. Now, of course, remember last year. Who did I pick to go to the Super Bowl, Hugh?
You picked you said you wouldn't be surprised if the Rams face you said Rams of Kansas City.
I did. 1 out of 2 wasn't bad. And I did pick those Rams to win said Super Bowl, did I not?
Yeah.
All right. So as we all know now, that did come to fruition. That being said, I am predicting them to win the NFC West yet again. Do not be surprised if OBJ comes back mid-season, just like don't be surprised if we get good old Gronk coming back to Tampa Bay mid-season. I can almost predict that that's going to happen. I think we all know that's going to happen. Because remember, he has not officially signed his retirement papers. So as long as that is the case, he is not officially retired. That being said, I went with San Fran to finish second, but I'm not confident about that. I could see a scenario where they get off to a slow start, and again, they stick in Garoppolo to save the day, and Garoppolo does what he does, win regular season football games.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there, E. I don't know. Did you hear the rumor of what was going on between San Francisco and the friction that was going on in San Francisco?
Okay, no, fill me in, bro.
Trey Lance was pissed off that they re-signed Jimmy G because they felt like they didn't see enough out of him in preseason and they didn't think that he was going to be able to lead that team to the promised land. So that's when they got that friendly contract with Jimmy G to where he cut it down to being one of the highest paid backups. But at the same time, if a team come looking and give them what they want and he agrees to go to that team, he can still get traded off. But right now, they're saying
NFL being the NFL, you know that's going to come the case. So imagine they start the season 4-2, and Trey looks really good. At that point, they go to Jimmy like, trade deadline next week. What you want to do, Jimmy? People been calling about it because you know they're going to be getting calls, especially if things go sour for the Jets or Seattle, for example. If they're not really happy with what Brissett's doing in Cleveland, but they still feel like they'll be able to win once Sean gets back, it'll be options for him. Hell, let's just say the Lions up the joint, and they say, no, we can't wait to get rid of you now, Goff. We got to get rid of you right away. Yeah, let me go ahead and get Jimmy G to be this placeholder while we get this other quarterback and train him on up.
It's a lot of
different options out there for Jimmy G, so he's definitely sitting in the catbird seat. No doubt about it. So yeah, and I understand Trey Lance saying, "Hey man, I thought that's why y'all drafted me. What we need this dude for?" In the end, it's time to show and prove, baby.
Yep, you got to
Out
go
there
out
to
there and
show
you
them
all
what you can do. You come lighten up the joint the first few weeks, like Herbert did when he came in. You have nothing to worry about. If you come stinking up the joint, like Andre Weir did back in the day,
you're gonna have a problem.
exactly.
And
All
that's
right,
sad too because
we got Big Red checking in. Pastor Big Red. Hey, Buggers checking in, family. Love you much. Love you too, bro. We definitely will be in touch with y'all. We got a little thing that we want to do to honor the one and only Helena Hologram. We'll hit you up about it. See if you're available. But yeah, that's basically those two things. Arizona, again, much like a Pittsburgh or Minnesota, I'm not quite sure what we're gonna get out of them this year. We already know the situation with them missing D-Hop for the first 6 weeks, and you
that's a
know,
lot of
Kyler Murray got his money, but I think there will be a lot of stress and anxiety on him, particularly if they start off on the wrong foot this season. Again, I still feel he was very disrespected with that whole contract and the studying thing and all that. Several of
the
the talking
study.
heads talked about that and agreed with me. They did him dirty. But maybe he comes with that extra chip on his shoulder and show him that, yeah, this is what it is. And I myself would score the touchdown and then go over there to the pad and be like, "Oh, I studied," and show up and show out on there myself. But that's just me. Okay, okay, awesome. That's what's up. So yeah, again, they could go 7-10, they could go 11-6, anywhere in between there. None of that would surprise. And then of course there's Seattle. If you think it's gonna be a long season in New York, it's gonna be an even longer season in Seattle. Um, no team has ever gone 0-17, Hugh. I can't predict that. It's very hard to go winless in the NFL. But if any team this year could do it, it'd be the Seahawks. What do you think?
Yeah, man, it's not looking too good for them, man. And their quarterback selections, to me, I thought that coming out of West Virginia, that Geno Smith was actually going to be pretty decent.
As did I.
He surprised me.
HBO is featuring lines. Yeah, we saw some of it. I wasn't
I
overly
love.
impressed with it all in all. Couple decent episodes, but yeah.
They just got to act. They got to put that on the field now, hopefully, because I know too. Just like you said with Arizona, Arizona will be the in season hard knock. So I'm interested in seeing how that's going to unfold with all this stuff that's going on, and when I have the D-Hop for 6 weeks. So yeah, that's going to get real interesting. But yeah, I would be
a study session with the young man. You will definitely see that dude studying some tape at some point. That is definitely going to be part of the show.
I would definitely be surprised though to see Seahawks lose every game, but I feel like they could.
I mean, realistically, I'm gonna just get them 2-15 and the number one pick.
What's crazy about them too is I didn't know until I looked into it, and I saw it today and thought it was interesting because it was before the show. They were saying that it was issues, of course, between Pete Carroll and Russ, and you have to be a fool not to see it. The writing was right there. But they said one of his issues was he felt like in 2019 he was disrespected when I believe at the time Lamar Jackson sat out and he didn't play because they already had a good enough record to where they were already going to be the number one seed in the AFC. So he basically sat out. And Russ found out about that. He threw 2 touchdown passes, and then when they found out that he wasn't going to be in and playing, that's when the coach Pete Carroll said, "Man, we're gonna go more run heavy, and he's not gonna throw as many passes." He felt like he was the reason why he didn't get the MVP that year because it was like really close between him and Lamar Jackson, and he felt like if he just could have let it all hang out and just ball out that game, that he could have surpassed, Lamar and got that actual award. And it was a lot of other things that was going on in Seattle. One thing that you
I
probably
mean,
didn't
like I
know
said,
too.
things were never right with them after that second Super Bowl round. We know that.
Oh yeah, that's when everything started to fall off. But did you know about this, man? I didn't know until today when I read it and I said, "Whoa." He was really pissed off when he found out. Guess who they were scouting at quarterback before he got out of college? They was scouting Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. As
So
they
that's
should.
who be their parent quarterback. And when he found out about that, he was furious. And it was just a lot of stuff that went on between him and Carroll to where when
I
I saw
mean,
that,
bottom line is he out of there, and it's hard to feel bad for Russell Wilson right now. It really
yeah,
is.
definitely the situation he's in.
Outside of Tom Brady, he is probably living the best life of any NFL star in the NFL. You just signed that massive deal. You got one of the finest women on the planet on your arm. You are well liked by all your peers. Where's the problem? You know you're going to the Hall of Fame probably one day. I mean, again, where's the problem? Unless
Definitely
your
shouldn't
name,
have my
unless your name
decision.
is Future or maybe Pete Carroll, everybody else got love for you.
Just think about it though, man. What could have happened if they just did what they supposed to do? They probably could have been one of the first teams in a long time that went back to back if they just ran a damn ball with Marshawn Lynch, man. But that's the
Man,
past.
I refuse to relive that nightmare anymore. I mean, I'm sure Tom Brady thanks you, and that is that. But yeah, that's pretty much my preview of all the teams and what I think they will do. Um, we got a few more minutes here. You want to talk about who you think will succeed in terms of individuals this year?
Man, like you said, I already feel like my boy. I think Josh Allen definitely gonna win the MVP this year.
I say
I
it's
just,
him and Justin Herbert.
yeah, it's gonna be a fight between them two, and I wouldn't lose no sleep over which any of those two who win. As far as
Absolutely.
defensive player of the year, you can always put Aaron Donald in that conversation, but I'm gonna talk about a guy who probably gonna get a lot more opportunities now that he's not gonna be getting double and triple team this year, man. I'm thinking it's gonna be Joey Bosa for the defensive player of the year.
Okay, well, I definitely like Mr. Hutchinson for rookie defensive player of the year for the Lions. But that being said, I'm gonna go with that kid in Dallas, Michael Parsons. I think he has an even better second year than he did the first year, and
That'd be
defensive player of
impressive.
the year. So I think it'll be a lot of tackles to be made by him.
Who do you have as the offensive player of the year?
Again, I'm gonna go with the person that he pretty much should have won if he didn't win it last year, which he did, of course. Young Cooper Cup. I think yet again him and that dude Stafford gonna hook up for at least another 100, 125 catches, another 1,200, 1,500 yards. I think it's Cooper Cup again.
I'm curious who gonna win the offensive rookie of the year. Somebody said Kenny Pickett. I said you out your damn mind. I said I definitely don't see him winning that.
No, I see it not either. I definitely think in terms of that, I want to go with one of those receivers for rookie of the year. I can't really say which one, but I'm definitely thinking receiver.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Burks come out and win it. The kid who replaced AJ Brown, but it's still to be determined. But I know he was playing with starters. and he looked pretty good. But it's still a lot of football need to be played too, and it all starts tomorrow. So yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm so excited about that,
Right.
man. That we
Uh,
finally get.
I just want to look at a few players in particular that I really want to do well this year. Travis Etienne is one of them. The Jackson running back who basically got hurt last year, so didn't get a chance to display his skills. I really think that a key to their improvement this year will be his play, both as a running back and a receiver out the backfield. I really want to see that man do well. Also, I want Joe Burrow to have another good year. I know he may get off to a slow start because of his early season appendectomy and what have you, but I definitely want to see him do well as well. Uh, I want to see. I do want to see Matty Ice show people that he wasn't done and have a decent season over there in Indy.
That'd be nice, and he set up a good position.
Right. It would actually be nice if we have the quarterback that we need already in Jared Goff, so that we don't have to use those picks on a quarterback necessarily. I
He
think that would
definitely got
help that
this
much
year.
because those picks will probably be better served going to some defensive players because I don't see our defense being but slightly better than last year, and that's why I say we don't win no more than 6. And actually, even though I don't think he will, I would like to see Justin Fields have a decent year also. I mean, that's asking a lot considering what he got to work with over there. But I really think that kid had a lot of talent coming out of college, and he just was put in a bad situation.
Very bad situation.
So I'm
And
hoping that he can work it out. And I'm actually pulling for Minnesota because Kirk Cousins, we all know that dude is a good dude. He's a good guy, and people have been on him ever since he received the NFL's first fully guaranteed contract. And I just want him to show people that he was worthy at least most of that money. So I want to see him have a good season also.
yeah, man,
And
because he ball out. So and a certain part of the year, like a 3-4 game stretch, you get him balling out, man. And remember last year, around week 6 through 10, they was looking at him and how good he was playing, and it was like hell. People start to put him in the MVP candidate talk,
he
man.
did.
Yeah, I'm definitely. You definitely want him to do well, man. I do. Hell, I feel like he can make or break himself right now. But it's so many quarterbacks coming out of college. If he don't, then they already have his successor, man. But you actually kind of root for that dude, man, for what he had to put up with and what he had to go through.
And I do want to put one more person in that mix. I really want to see Tua Tagovailoa have a good season also with Miami
Man,
because
I ain't
they've
even
been
think
on that guy ever since he came in the league. I mean, we know he wasn't 100% his rookie season. You had to know that. That was a major surgery. Remember, that was the same injury that retired Bo Jackson from football and baseball. That's just how bad it was. So the fact that
he
he's even able to play at this point is a modern miracle of science.
and he won 9 games in a row last year. That's what people don't get him credit for, man.
They
They
almost made the playoffs. Absolutely.
they were looking real shaky at first, and then for them to do what they did and play the type of football that he played, because they had a pretty nice core over there. The defense, they bought a lot of good guys over there. Byron Jones from the Cowboys, and they already had Xavier Howard. So yeah, they had some pretty good pieces already that was over there, from Miami, just from the drafts alone, because they were so bad in the last few years. But
Right.
that talent that actually put them in a mix now, and like you said, man, they got Waddle and they got Cheetah, and it's about to get crazy over there, man. It's gonna be a pretty interesting storyline for him, and this is a make or break year for him for sure, man.
Absolutely. So that being said, that leaves us one more thing to determine. Who's winning that Super Bowl, man? Who going, man? Who you got?
Man, surprising enough, I have Green Bay on the one side, on the NFC side, and on the NFC side, man, I got the Chargers.
Now, Hugh, you know we've discussed this. Those are also my picks. I find it interesting we've come to the same conclusion. And I know some people are saying the Chargers, the LA Chargers, yes, those LA Chargers. I do think they have enough in terms of offensive defense. I really think Herbert's going to have an outstanding year. And that's why I'm picking him to beat out all the rest of the people in the AFC West and battle his way to the Super Bowl. And I'm actually picking the Chargers to win this year's Super Bowl.
Because if people question what we saying too, you already had Derwin James over there. You already have him as one of the best safeties who could actually go down and play in the slot or play any cornerback position on any side. He could play your best receiver.
Right.
You'll have Asante Samuel Jr. over there too as the cornerback.
Right.
And you have J.C. Jackson. He's a little banged up right now, but when he come in the fold, man, to me, I thought he was the best cornerback in the last 2 years. You know, love it or hate it, man. As far as his
that running back, a strong, sturdy little running back that you could also throw in for slot receiver from time to time. So you have that. And like I said, you got Herbert, who basically can do a little bit of everything at quarterback. He's got the strong arm. He seems to read defense as well. He can run with the football when necessary. He is basically a Cam Newton quite build at 6'6", 240. I mean, you like for him to be sturdy. You don't think he's going to do too much to get himself hurt. You know, I'm thinking in terms of overall durability and team and what we got to work with. That's why I'm going with the Chargers, man.
And you can't sleep on Mike Williams, and one of the most underrated, guys in the league at receiver is Keenan Allen, man.
Right. Don't forget that tight end play over there with the Chargers as well. They got a decent tight end going.
So, yeah, I just like what they did as far as, they knew that they need a little bit more, and they picked that up, and they got that, what they needed. And
I think the one thing that might get them over the top, and definitely in terms of the trade deadline, the one person that I think will be a key player in the trade talks is one DJ Metcalf. Look for Seattle to move him for a few picks.
Man,
two or number one pick.
If he went somewhere like Green Bay, that'd be crazy, man, because I know they already been having rumors, and they felt like since they let Devontae Adams go over there, they were trying to get Darren Waller over there. But I don't think that may happen. But just think about if, like, Seattle's to the point where around the trade deadline, they only won a game, maybe two, and then you already know what all the draft picks they have, and they've been willing to deal it. They can have that opportunity to try to shop DK Metcalf there, man. If Green Bay can pull that off, I'm going to say they will. But if they can pull that off, man, yeah, I definitely feel like
even better still, have a big interest in DJ Metcalf. That'll be the Cowboys. Let's just say CeeDee Lamb is okay, but the rest of the receivers not so much. You put CeeDee Lamb on one side, you get Metcalf on the other side, with Dak Prescott as quarterback, it could get real interesting.
Because they already have a pretty good run game, with Zeke and then the other kid in the backfield who run like lightning. So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to watch, man. I want to see, too, because this is our first show as far as the predictions and who we got and who we picking for the Super Bowl. It'll be interesting to see what happened, too, once it gets to that point, to see who's where at that time.
Right, because as you know, I'm kind of on fire right now, Hugh. I picked the Super Bowl champion. I'm basically picking the WNBA champion. You did a pretty good job picking South Carolina to win the women's tournament. We doing good, Hugh.
I'm definitely looking forward to it, man, because it's going to be a really good season. And I'm interested in seeing what Kansas City going to have to offer too, because it's gonna be some growing pains without Cheetah. Because sometimes when Pat do some of them crazy plays, man, he could just chug it up because they'll ask him.
Speaking of team that could benefit from DJ Metcalf, that's another one right there, the Chiefs.
Because there's a lot of teams who got draft capital, man, and it depends on what Pete Carroll wants, man, because he got so much, man, to deal with right now. I think in the next 2-3 years, he gonna have a really solid team because he blowing that thing up.
Well, I think there will be a solid team in Seattle, but I don't think Pete Carroll gonna have much to do with it. I could say this might be his swan song. It's kind of hard to survive 2-15, even if you have been to a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah. So, man, we'll see how that turns out, man. Because this Pete Carroll's second time around, and the reason why I think he even came out of college, man, because that's when all that crazy stuff happened at UFC, and that kind of blew up, and he hurried up and came to the NFL. Because I think if none of those allegations ever happened, he probably would have still been a college coach. So, yeah, man, he might be
saving every year. Absolutely, he might be right about that. But yep, that being said, y'all, unless you got something else for us, I'm about ready to shut it down.
Yes, sir. Appreciate everybody who's been on the Puritan Game website, man, who's been, going on the blog and commenting and just basically, keeping me busy, man, because I'm gonna find the information, and if I find it, I'm gonna try to get the best thing as an offer and try to give it to you first, give you the best news that I can give you, and try to be as accurate as I has been. But yeah, man, just appreciate all the love and all the support for the people who's been supporting the page, and like I said, them comments make it more appreciated because it let me know that you guys are chiming in and you're listening. And like I said, man, a lot of those topics, a lot of things is going on the show. A lot of those things is put on that blog, and then you dissect it and put them into the conversation so we can have the Purity of the Game, page. But then at the same time, we turn around and have that Gametime Audible podcast, so it's highly appreciated.
Right, and at some point, I'm still talking to this dude that is doing his own podcast, just him and him alone. He can do it. I just can't seem to bring him to do it. Because keep in mind, we got the football guru session that's going on during the season, but I would love to see him do it every week in a little audio type deal. So yeah, I'm gonna work on him with that. Y'all let me know. Y'all think that's a good idea for the guru to do, by the way. Maybe if enough of y'all chime in, we can finally talk him into it. You got it, bro. You do this. But at any rate, y'all, we about to head up out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your sports viewing. Definitely enjoy both college and pro football. Even though, we didn't talk college outside of Texas, Alabama, maybe. What a good game.
Really like, man. It's a lot of powerful teams.
A lot of blowout games this week, y'all. Just be prepared. So that being said, maybe next week we'll get into the whole quarterback controversy with Michigan and some of the other stuff going on. But until then, we are going to enjoy our best life, and we will see y'all next Wednesday for more Gametime Audible. I am one of your hosts, Wnba, and that, of course, is Hugh Lee. You know how we do it, y'all. Throw them fingers up, baby.
See y'all next.
We are out of here. Gametime Audible is a Nighthawk Network.